Good evening, guys. So, in episode 2, we're going to pick up where we left off from episode 1. And it starts to get intense. So, we're going to talk about it next on Spiritual Awakenings. What is going on, YouTube? This is your boy, Luafemi. And let's get back into episode 2, where it starts to get a little intense. So, where we left off is that our niece started having some health issues, some heart issues with her heart. Now, me being the sole provider, the person that's going out here and working their behind off and trying to support their family, I'm working. Now, mind you, I'm the type of person that if you're told something, you have almost a duty to do something spiritually. Now, that's just my conviction. And basically, biblically, it says if you know somebody is in dire straits or something is going on with them, and you physically know, and you do nothing, that is a sin. I can't give you the scripture, but it's physically a sin. If you know somebody's in distress, going through something challenging, and you sit and do nothing, that is a sin. So I find out, I know that there's something going on, and I do what I gotta do. I generally care about people, and I'm always the type of person that do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And I strive to have good character. I strive to be a person that is upright, like Job. And we all know the story of Job. Those who don't, I can dive into that a little bit later. So I'm like, all right, hon, and I'm spending money. Now, my wife is spending money, and my wife is looking after my son, looking after her oldest son, his kids, and her mother. Now, her mother is the elder of all the people in the family, so we try to make sure that she's good. This is part of my dynamic. It's part of my family dynamic. Now, the issues and the challenges started after she had the child. Beautiful little girl. She called her rainbow baby, to be exact. After that, she went into this deep depression. And this deep depression, everybody was trying to do anything and everything to help her feel better. Feel better about life. She felt like she was gonna die or be unalived. She felt like she was, life was over. And then out of nowhere, I guess she had a spiritual awakening, or she was no longer her. And I'll dive in a little bit more to that. Personally, the person that we knew is no longer here, and somebody else took form, took shape. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I physically see, what I believe to see. So immediately changed. And it's kind of like pulling the wool over somebody's eyes, but you see. Everybody else sees, but you see. And there was a statement that was made, and this is where it gets deep. There was a statement was made that said, I had a dream. Well, not me, that they had a dream. My niece had a dream. And she said that she was sitting at a table. Now, mind you, for myself, I'm just a different type of person. And I see through people. And that's not cockiness, it's just something that is. So she said that she had this dream, and what I said freaked her out. In her dream, she said she's sitting at a table and there was mirrors on the wall. And I said, was the cloth on the table white? and she freaked out. Now, she took it as something freaky, but scary. But when you're there, but they don't know that you're there, it's different. Because they don't know that you're there, but you're there. And things just were weird. And I'll tell you, like, after that, it became real apparent that something or someone was doing stuff to come after me. Now, I've been on the road for years. I've been driving for years. And when I'm telling you one thing is okay, two things is okay, three things, there's something going on. And when you physically find out that somebody is doing spiritual witchcraft on you, trying to cause you financial ruin, hardship, whatever, you kind of go into this phase where you just like, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll give you a better idea. This is all true. This all happened to me. So the first thing that happened to me is that me and my son, my youngest son, we designed a truck. I worked at Prime. We designed a truck, and I let him design the whole truck. Me and him were proud of that truck. It was the first thing that me and him worked on together. So he designed it, and it was characters that he liked. It had my YouTube name. It was gonna be my truck. And I remember this day, I was in Jeffersonville, Ohio. Me and my wife were, and I had this tiger's eye on my neck. And I got diesel at this Jeffersonville, Ohio TA. And I went to sleep, and I had my tiger's eye in this cage. There's a cage around my neck. This tiger, I woke up in the rising, and my cage was crushed, just crushed. It's never been crushed before. I've worn thousands of times around my neck. It was crushed. My tiger's eye was gone. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Tiger's eye disappearing, and it's a true thing. I looked everywhere, upside down, inside out, all over the place for that in that truck to find that tiger's eye. It was nowhere. It disappeared. It was not in the bed. It was just gone. And from then on, it was just a downward spiral. That same day, my truck diesel was water. I had to have it pumped out. It messed my truck up something real fierce. Just messed it up. It didn't work right for about 2 years. And it was just, we had a business going on, and I mean, the first thing was we had a customer that was in a Challenger down in Florida. He was coming back. He drove the car off the side of the road, messed that car up, lost that car. Had another car, the customer's on. He backed into an industrial-sized garbage can. That car was down for almost a year on parts that are on recall. I had another car, which was a Camaro. The tire broke. Then I got it fixed, and then it was they couldn't start it. It wouldn't randomly start. Spend money on that. I had my own truck, and we had a business, and my oldest son was driving that truck. And I'm telling you, everything just started spiraling. I'm talking about the water pump went out, the dozer valve went out, the radiator went out, the tires kept popping. Everything kept going on. Everything that you could think of was going on. And what it was this person, my niece, was upstairs casting evil eye, witchcraft, hoodoo, and voodoo on the dark side against me and my family. Even to the point that she tried to unalive me, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I have video of it too. And you start understanding the levels of spirituality and things that happen, because you have to also remember that in every movie ever made, God is present and the devil is present. They're both omnipresent. That's why they say you have to be careful what you speak, because if you speak, it can happen because there's somebody that's actually listening. So you have to be careful what you speak. They're both omnipresent. If you don't believe me, go watch the movie American Satan, and you see God and you see the devil omnipresent. You got to use your other eyes. So it was just bad after bad after bad. This video's getting a little long, so I'm gonna tell you this, and you have to come back for episode 3. The night that I was almost unalived, before that incident happened, got to a truck stop. It was late at night, and a gentleman came up to me and asked me to get him some food. And most of the time when homeless people or people come up to me, it's a test. And I was just like, yeah, sure, what do you need? And he said he wanted two sandwiches. I got him 2 sandwiches and stuff like that. I left out of there. It was in West Memphis, Arkansas. Went over the bridge, came around the corner. I'm listening to my music, Christian music, and a lady loses control on the left side and comes in front of me. She crosses in front of me, hits the fence, barrel rolls, hits a pole, and gets ejected out of the vehicle. I'm the first on the scene, and I see this black lady sitting there face down, body contorted, and there was a weird spirit there. There was another gentleman there. I didn't see him leave. Me and him were both trying to make sure that the lady was okay. There was no kids in the car. Her Jeep Compass was totaled, and I don't know how she got out, but all I can tell you is that there was a weird, eerie feeling there. And I was the first person to call 911. Told them to get there, tell them where they were, and I asked her if she was going to make it. And the paramedic said no. He said that she was pretty messed up. I got back in my truck. Had I not got back in my truck, I probably wouldn't have been able to drive anymore because it threw me off that bad. But I kept driving, called my wife, let her know, had the video. It's on my Instagram. But I'll never forget that feeling. And I know who it came from. And at that point, I realized that this person had succeeded doing it to another person. And the person that she succeededly did it to, her husband doesn't know that she is the reason why his dad is no longer here. It's just speculation, but I have a really big feeling that that's the reason why her husband's dad is no longer here. Why? Because he was a truck driver. And if you don't believe me, look up trucking accident in a dump truck in South Carolina, and you'll find out why I feel that way. I would be blessed and less stressed, and I'll catch you on the next upload of Soulful.